Hey guys, welcome to our review of The Wrecking Crew, a straight-to-streaming Amazon Prime movie starring Dave Bautista and Jason Momoa. This was based on, I see, an idea from, Tropper, Jonathan Tropper, who wrote it, and also Jason and Dave themselves. And apparently MGM won a four-way bidding war for the project back in 2021. And so then teamed up here with Amazon, and it is now released. And, okay, so Jason Momoa, Dave Bautista, action film. This is the dumbest, stupidest movie I have seen in a long time. The CGI is terrible. The action scenes are those that it's like Rambo from the 80s when people are shooting. They are literally 5 feet in front of the person they're shooting, and none of the bullets are going where you think they're going. It's one of those ridiculous things that's so stupid to watch. It's almost as if Jason Momoa is like, okay, are we not doing Fast X 2? What's going on here? I'm going to do my own Fast and Furious with Dave. And I love Dave Bautista, the guy, excellent wrestler, really nice guy. We've talked before on Twitter. He's just kind to everybody that he meets. I think he's a great actor, and so there is charisma here with these two brothers. I actually really ended up liking the brothers' relationship. Does it make it a good film? No. This is not a good film. This is a stupid film. But honestly, I guess I kind of was in a mood for turn my brain off dumb action in the vein of the 80s, and this is real bad. You know, there's plenty of action. So there's 2 streaming movies that came out recently. The Rip on Netflix with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon teaming up. And then you have The Wrecking Crew. Did you guys see The Rip? I haven't seen The Rip either. There's no way there's as much action in The Rip as there is here. Dumb action in this film. So dumb, over-the-top, nonsensical, 100 plot holes. All the action scenes is the bad guys are worse than stormtroopers. And these two brothers, if you think about it, because they really tie in, you know, a little bit of the Hawaiian culture, and they tie in the island, and, you know, obviously if we're talking about the rich and wealthy and corrupt and trying to take advantage of the island, these two brothers end up killing way more people, innocent people, than the Yakuza, the fucking Samoan syndicate, and the fucking bad guys combined. We started counting body count that these guys were leaving in their wake. So it's extremely unrealistic, but it is dumb, turn your brain off action film, and I think by the end of it, I liked it. I think it won me over as a, you know, this is just turn your brain off kind of thing. What did you guys think of The Wrecking Crew?
Yeah, the last this weekend we actually got stuck inside. So that would have actually been a perfect movie just to like watch in the background.
Yeah, we had an ice storm here.
Yeah, so this is a perfect movie. This was like basically what you said. A lot of dumb fun, but it didn't go to like dumb territory where it's like Fast and Furious.
Oh, like this is Fast and Furious, Joe. Come on.
To the
early Fast and Furious, maybe.
Like,
but not
like this guy's
late stage Fast and Furious.
Right now, we got fucking Vin Diesel's superhero lifting up fucking trucks. Like,
and
going to space.
Yeah, fucking space. Camaro's hooking onto something, swinging across mountains.
Yeah. It's not that territory yet, but it's like kind of in the early stages. So it's like, yeah, sure, this is a good time. You just throw this on, have some fun. Have a couple drinks. Plot is fucking just generic.
I did have beers.
Yeah, just have generic ass plot. It's like, oh, this is the brothers that haven't seen each other for whatever, so they have that dynamic. So
their father was killed. Now they investigate their father's death.
That brings them together, and then we find the corrupt stuff. But with that being said, there's a lot of jokes here that actually hit pretty hard. It was funny. Dumb action. What else do you want from it? It's like, you know what you're expecting. Don't expect a fucking amazing story, but I actually had a decent time with this.
Yeah, it's not like a summer blockbuster where
No.
you're going to the movie theater. Like, that's not what this is. This is, a dumb, fun movie, and it is fun. And there's a couple action sequences. Look, some of them are really bad. Like, the person who filmed them or directed them did a horrible fucking job. They actually opened up with a pretty decent one where, like, you actually see a little bit in the trailer where Momoa's kind of in his house and some people attack him. And there's some really cool stuff that they do in there.
Yeah.
And, like, he really messes some people up. And so it's like if you're in... Look, his girlfriend just happens to be like a banking manager because they needed someone to go like,
Yeah,
oh,
I knew
that's
that
what
too.
this is, and they just so happen to find that. So it's like nothing makes any sense.
And she's like quite possibly the most expert, skilled minivan driver of all time.
well, but they showed off
They showed
earlier
she
that
had an SS.
she spins out in her car
right.
around the thing. She
Yeah.
can
She had a
drive, Joe.
fast
She has
car.
one of your favorite cars.
Because it's like they have all these things, and so it's like it's perfect that the only cast can do everything that they need for this movie, and so. I didn't get the feelings that this movie's trying to take itself seriously at all. It doesn't go into the ridiculous thing where I could no longer have fun. Because the Fast and Furious is so stupid that I can't have fun anymore because we've gone beyond. We've
Jumped the shark.
We've jumped a shark. We've jumped a cliff. We've jumped into fucking space. I can't have fun with these movies because they're so stupid. This isn't there. This isn't that far out. Like this is like Fast. I don't
It's
know.
stupid.
It's dumb, but it is not like sending Ludacris to space stupid.
yeah.
And so like that, it's not that far gone. So I think that this is a dumb, fun action movie. If you already have Prime, sit down and watch this.
Yeah.
It's so much better than anything
Yeah.
they like Rings of Power or the other shit they've got on there. So it's like it's fine.
And they are the wrecking crew. Lots of destruction.
Yeah,
Tons of destruction.
straight up murder.
There's
Tons of murder.
Yes.
There's actually surprisingly gore in the film too. It gets a little gory. You're ripping arms off. You're rubbing grating weapons on people's bodies.
Cheese grater.
Yeah. So Dave Bautista and Jason Momoa, since it was partly their idea, they definitely throw in some crowd pleasing kind of moments. I like pairing these two characters. You've got Momoa going this fucking drunk party guy, life out of control, spinning out of control bad boy with the quiet but powerful, Navy
up,
SEAL button up Dave Bautista. The odd couple works, and it's a trope, but it definitely works. It's satisfying. They have the obligatory press a button on the wall, the thing opens, and you have a bajillion guns, and it's time to go kick
have that?
ass. Huh?
You don't have one?
No,
I got
Joe.
one. I got
I do have one.
Behind my weight set too. Like
To be fair, I do own, I think, 9 firearms, so I could make one, I guess. But all right, so we're in Texas. I just thought that it was dumb fun. And if you go in
That's the
with that
movie, that's it.
mindset, this
Dumb
is not,
fun,
I'm not
AJ.
saying this is a good movie, but every once in a while you want to see some dumb action.
Yeah.
You want to have some fun characters, and you don't give a shit about plot, right? If the thing can make you laugh, which it made us laugh at least 3 or 4 times throughout it, then you end up having a good time if you're having beers. And apparently, some of the reviews agree with us. There's no audience rating yet, but right now it's at 79% at only 24 reviews, so hovering in the 80%. This one's worth watching if you have Amazon. I think a lot of you do with Amazon Prime. And it seems better to me. The budget seems substantial because what they do on a highway, you could tell there's tons of CGI. It looks a little odd and uncanny valley, but that shit costs money. And then you have CGI bodies thrown all over the place and cars wrecking and so much destruction. Towards the beginning of the film, the stapler guy from The Office is the cop, and he reams them. He just screams and yells at them for making a ruckus in their city when one car explodes. But later on in the film, what happens on this highway is that times 1,000.
Over
And-
100
and-
people died.
Over
100 people died.
And there's a CGI effect that defies physics and is literally chasing them so that they can have a fireball explosion. It is hilarious. It is over the top. But I think the film is tongue-in-cheek enough where it's not taking itself too seriously, where you're like, mad at it for doing something that stupid. You don't
just-
care.
Yeah.
You can see the writing room where someone's like, "Hey guys, what have you got?" There are
What-
no dumb ideas, and the problem is there needs to be someone going, "No, that's a dumb idea," because they didn't.
I wanted the dumb idea. in
Well,
here.
so that
and then so that it happens, but we don't get a scene with the stapler guy going, "What the fuck? You guys, you're all under arrest and you're going to jail for the rest of your life," because that's really what would happen at the end of this film instead of what happens at the end of this film, which surprising. I thought that they would tease a sequel, and I guess they do a little bit, but it's not as blatant and annoying as some of the Netflix ones. And if they stop at one,
One is
it
done.
is
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah,
It's
you don't
fine,
need
and
to.
it works. It can work on its own. I do like their chemistry, Joe. I wouldn't mind seeing them go again, but you run that danger of it turning into Fast and Furious, because they're like, okay, last time we did that, now we need to do something bigger.
Yeah.
But as it is now, I think it's a good watch. I think you should watch it over the weekend. If you don't want to go to the theater, you're like, I don't want to spend a bunch of money at the theater. This one is a good one. So let's go to final verdicts.
Slightly below or above average. I'm gonna give this a 6, just because, the plot or whatever is paper thin. It's just your generic ass movie. But I do like the chemistry between these two. They actually have some funny moments. A lot of dumb action scenes.
There is a lot.
Lots of explosion. Lots of fucking mayhem. But didn't have a bad time with this. So.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I actually may like it a little more than that for a stupid, dumb, fun movie. I mean, they open up with an action sequence, and it's crazy. Like, he makes a guy bite a counter, and there's a cheese grater, and he's constantly he's just having fun with it, and they kind of set the tone for the
Pissing
movie.
on him.
Yeah, and so it's like they know what they've got, and they had a good time with it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So I think that for me, I think it's a pretty good dumb action movie. We've watched a lot of bad ones, especially on Red Notice, which has no value to anyone.
Thank you for bringing it up. I was going to bring it up.
It's like, it's no value, and they spent hundreds of millions of dollars, and it's a giant piece of shit for people who clap for commercials. Like, I don't know who fucking likes that movie.
This is way better.
This
than
is
Red
more on
Notice.
like an Extraction, where it's like that. That one's not necessarily a comedy, but it's like, hey, it's a streaming movie. You did a pretty good job with it. I did not hate the fact that I had to watch it, so I'm gonna go with a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I actually I'm a 7-8 territory. I find very little wrong with it, other than if you embrace the stupid, right? Because there's tons of wrong with it. If you go in with that mindset, 8 out of 10. You want a fun, dumb action movie where there's more civilians to die than bad guys on accident, but who cares, because it makes
They don't
for
have
a better
story,
shot.
so it's fine if they die.
It just makes it
It's
doesn't
fine.
make any sense, so it's fine. So 8 out of 10 on that. If it was if I had to go for the theater, I don't know, 7 out of 10, I don't know, but 8 out of 10 is what I'm going to end up giving it, because I like the chemistry between these two. I like Dave Bautista. I like that these guys are like making a fun little odd couple movie. And we'll see if this is it, or if they try to do another one. I guess it really depends on how it does on Amazon Prime. But because they do set up a small little thing with the backstory of Jason Momoa's character that could be potentially explored. But yeah.
Yeah, they end the movie with he's like, hey, I know we've been estranged, but I got your back now, brother. And all they have to do is someone gets in trouble somewhere, and then the other brother has to show up, and you got a sequel. I mean, it's
Kind of
so
like the
tropey.
Accountant. You remember The Accountant? And
Oh,
then
one was so much
The
better
Accountant
than 2.
and so it's sort of like
Yeah.
that. All right, well, that's it. A short one for you guys. We'll go into the spoilers and talk about all the kind of ridiculous moments that happened in the film. So if you want that and you've seen it, come join us in the spoiler section. If not, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys. All right, guys. So, what was the most ridiculous thing for you in this film? I think for me, it was the highway scene where Jason Momoa manages to get his girlfriend character who left him. She just so happens to be a bank teller who knows all these SWIFT codes and all the things because they're dealing with, high value crime and USBs and things like that. So she's driving in the van with them, and they're trying to, work out what's going on in the background when a helicopter rolls up on them and doesn't hit them at all. It actually, one bullet goes through the windshield.
Car around them.
Every car around them does somersault flips, gangers in the air, and it is hilarious because the helicopter then swings back around and he opens his glove box. And Dave Bautista has a huge Desert Eagle, and Jason Momoa's like, yeah. And then last second, Jason's girlfriend kisses him and says, don't miss. And so he's trying to fire at the helicopter. Meanwhile, this helicopter is shooting every car on the highway, and you literally see all these other Hawaiians going. Just it turns into a cartoon. The CGI turns into a cartoon. Eventually, it swings back around multiple times. That's when his girlfriend gives him a kiss, and he fires. She's like, don't miss. He does miss. He's not even the one that does anything.
Yeah, I don't know why she said that, because I think he was just a distraction.
It's supposed to be funny that it's like she said don't miss, and he completely misses, and then the button-up brother just goes bam and shoots the helicopter.
Yeah, and so it's Dave Bautista's character who actually takes care of the guy. But there's a shot where the helicopter's going dung, 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 dung. But they don't show where the van is while it's doing that, so that you don't see, all the bullets hitting the van, because they would have already hit the van 1,000 times. Meanwhile, the helicopter then gets shot up. The pilot dies, which he rams on the fucking controls. And this helicopter spins for a total of 30 minutes.
And chases them.
And the helicopter chases them, banging off of poles and cars, and then doing somersaults. It's almost, they might as well made a CGI mummy mist grabbing at them, because that's how ridiculous it was. But it made us laugh out loud, and it made me smile and laugh. So the action scenes are fucking over the top and ridiculous.
It was my least favorite scene in the entire movie, easily, because it was the only time that we went almost to outer space. Because it's so crazy.
Enjoyed it. I think that's what I wanted.
Yeah, it's because they can't. The helicopter doesn't want to blow up the car, because if they blow up the USB, then $12 million is lost. They set up this thing where it's like this USB is the key, and if they damage this, $12 million poofs into thin air. So there's supposed to be like some hand waving.
Yeah, but that was extreme.
Yeah, but there's the grounded fight scenes where he has three Yakuza grounded.
Yeah, this is the first fight scene.
Well, and so they catch him dick out. You don't see it, but it's like he's pissing, and he's waving his dick.
The mechanics of that doesn't really work because he's wearing a towel, but then later on he's like sword fight, and he hits the dude with his dick multiple times, and then they begin fighting.
Yeah,
but then the towel goes back onto his body. It's like, what?
Yeah, I think it's a rap type thing.
Yeah.
Maybe he's got access to things, but it's brutal. I mean, he's ramming people's crotches through door jams.
Yeah.
Eventually, he grabs a dude's neck, and I was surprised they didn't show it because it's on Amazon, but it's a broken window, and he puts his neck on it and rubs it back and forth and saws on his head. And he's snapping arms. He makes the guy bite the counter and then knocks all of his teeth out.
Yeah, it's a brutal scene.
Cheese grater on the thing. I was like, oh, that's the kind of movie that we're in for. And we didn't. That's not actually.
Yeah, my most impossible thing in this movie is the man almost worth $1 billion does not have one goddamn camera in his house. Around his house.
Because they have to invade.
Not one camera.
After the fucking helicopter scene, the bad guys capture Dave Bautista's wife.
Yeah.
And also the cousin character. And they basically say, bring me the fucking drive or these two are going to die. And then that's when Dave Bautista opens up his weapon cellar. They equip themselves. But
With
and they
super
bring a lot of
silencers.
silencers. So they got
Super
a ton of silencers, super silencers.
Yeah.
And they totally kill every. And they say, he's not going to trade for her, right? And he's like, yeah, I know. And
Neither are we.
Neither are we. And then they just go in and just start
Murder.
shooting everybody, which I think is hilarious because, they would probably pop one of them, pop the wife and say, hey, we just killed one. We're about to kill another if you keep killing our people. Or
But they didn't
the
know.
big bad boss would wait, and now that all of his guys are dead, he would grab the two girls and be like, I'm going to kill them if you don't give me the USB. No, for no goddamn apparent reason, they leave the two girls strapped up. They leave the room while these two men murder 17 people.
It's a lot more than 17. He killed 17 people in that hallway.
Yeah.
They tried to do an old boy
Yeah,
hallway
didn't work
scene,
out.
but
this was dumb. Yeah, that might be even more dumb than the
it
helicopter.
wasn't filmed super well, and so you don't get to see how brutal some of this stuff is.
They tried.
Yeah, and so
They
Batista
tried.
shows up, and there's a hallway with all of these dudes, but it's not old boy wide. It's only
Right.
shoulder width wide, and he can just fire 3 times and kill everyone in the hallway. But he throws his gun down and then gets into a bat
That's
fight.
after 23 guys have already died, and then down in the basement where the bad guy is, he's like, where he's working with the Yakuza, he says, okay, do your thing. And so we have this hilarious Japanese guy who's always smiling and enjoys torture, sends his guys, and he's like screaming, and all the Japanese are always screaming in this film. They're like, and so all the guys start screaming in Japanese, and they go upstairs, so it's like the guys know they're coming, and they're in the hallway, and that's when Dave Bautista comes right out. He's got a motherfucking automatic rifle, and instead of just going
He had
in that
the
hallway,
distance too, so he's like this
And he had
far.
distance.
But he rushes them, yeah.
But he rushes. I was like,
he
you're the one
does
with the
one
gun.
or two shots, then starts
They have
butting the
a
gun.
sword.
It's clearly for our benefit as the audience. Look at our action
Yeah.
scene.
I know, but he could have
And
been
it's
like,
all right. It's not It's not at the height of Old Boy or The Raid
Daredevil.
or any of these, but it is entertaining.
It's fine.
and it's satisfying.
It just
Yeah, but-
there's potential there, and it could have been bad.
yeah, that fight could have been better, or he could have killed the first guy, then run
Click.
out of bullets.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, now.
But those are the kinds of things that you'll be saying, like, why
you're
didn't he
like,
just shoot?
Yeah,
Or just
that's what's like.
shoot.
Don't think about it. It's mindless.
And honestly, when they were equipping themselves, I saw Jason Momoa. I think he puts on a bulletproof vest first as they're grabbing guns. And I thought in my head, okay, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go and attack, but then I want you guys to take bullets too. And you could just say, well, we're wearing bulletproof vests. We're being reckless. We're the wrecking crew. That I would have liked, and that would have, took care of some of the unrealisticness. But no, they just said, no, they are super soldiers. And Jason Momoa kills like fucking 12 guys around a car, just with hand-to-hand combat and a revolver, or no, a Yellow Boy rifle.
But he also had a time to write a mean note. He put it in the car. He's like made you look, bitch, or something like that. They all look in the car, and then they all start exploding. And it's
Okay, so
and he
the-
drags all. Well, no, not just that. He's having fun because he drags all of their corpses to a pool.
Yeah.
every one of them.
Oh, that's right. I was like, why are their bodies floating? Because they're like, report it. Like they report it. Like they would have done some reporting on.
or
a
if
lot
he had a
sooner than that.
goddamn camera,
Or if he had a fucking ring camera, he would have seen.
He's like, holy
one
shit.
camera.
the bad.
all these guys are dead. Hey, they're here.
Well, the
Yeah.
bad guys who don't have silencers are firing a bunch. Like when he's
you
shooting,
should be able to hear.
when he's shooting them at the car, they're like reacting and shooting guns in the air, and then everyone in the secret layer, it must be soundproof. That's
so
what it is.
all of these gunfight scenes are hilarious. They're over the top, but they're okay and they're fun. What about the plot, Alex? Who was the bad guy? You see this shit coming
Yes.
from a mile away.
Fucking Boba Fett.
Boba Fett, yeah.
Boba.
And so
Boba, where?
the father is a private investigator, and he's clearly found a case that's too big for his britches, and he ends up murdered. And so the sons have to get together and figure it out. One son doesn't want to be involved, Batista, but then he realizes it's very real, and so then they pair up, and they realize that there's a bad guy who's lived on Hawaii for generations. He wants to make a casino. But gambling's illegal, Joe. You can't do that.
They
So
don't
he
want it.
bribes the governor with $12 million via a USB drive and says,
Which is their uncle.
I'll help you get reelected and you make gambling illegal, and I'll already have all this land. I'll have my casino pretty much pre-built, and then that's what the corruption is.
Is it really his uncle? I always took the uncle as, the Hawaiians just say uncle to each other all the time. I don't think he's actually, because he says you boys because he's pretending to be their friend and their families. Like, you boys have brothers. One thing that you guys have that your father didn't is brothers.
Yeah, so maybe it's the mom's brother or something, because at the very end of the movie, he looks at the niece, the assistant, and is like, we're family.
Yeah.
And so
That's
I don't
what I
think he
thought,
meant
too.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's
These aren't brothers either, right? They're half brothers.
Half brothers, yeah.
But which are brothers,
Yeah.
in my opinion. But okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, that's the plot. So
Yeah,
it turns out he was
exactly.
the guy that wanted to
A
get
crooked politician and a
takes
guy
$12
with a lot
million.
of money. You got it.
And at the end, they get the $12 million, right?
Yes.
They have $12 million. I guess they're gonna plug it in and, I don't know, download the thing, and they get the money somehow. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's another faction in here. There's the Hawaiian underground syndicate. And initially, when Jason Momoa goes back to Hawaii, they want to kill him because they fought in the past. Momoa thinks that these people have killed his mother. Somebody has killed his mother, and he has a different mom than Dave's character. So essentially, by the end, or they actually cut him and brand him with a K. And you think they're going to kill him, but they let him. And it turns out that the syndicate was using him the whole time to go and do their dirty work because they had figured out that the Yakuza are fucking around on Hawaii, and that's our territory. And they're going to do something about it. But they knew these two brothers were going to be a wrecking crew, so they did that. And by the end, he gives Momoa's character a little note and says, "This is the person who killed your mother." And
would you trust it? He's like, "Hey, I've been using you for an entire week to kill hundreds of people and do billions of dollars in damage.
kill some.
I promise
person.
this is the guy that
Right.
killed your mother and not a guy that I want
of
removed."
course.
Yeah.
Of course.
But he just throws it on the grill and lights it
And
on
you
fire.
think that Jason's gonna go, and he's like, "Are we friends now?" And then the syndicate dude is like, and then there's some banter, and it's fun. And then he goes, and he says he curses in front of his mom's picture. He says sorry, and then he goes to his brother. And he lets him know, and you think, oh, he's going to start another one, and they'll have a sequel to go after the guy that killed his mom. But he actually takes the piece of paper and he throws it onto the grill, and the brothers kind of walk off together.
Still, he's like, I read it before I burned it.
Right. I memorized the
Yeah.
name.
If-
If they want,
if they
they can
wanted
still
to.
They're
do
going
it.
to Japan, man.
But-
If I'm in the writing room, it's like, no, part 2 is we go to Japan. Momoa goes to Japan for vacation. He gets
And beats up
captured.
more small, screaming Japanese
But he's
men.
and then Batista has to go save him. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, but I think they're resolved. The trauma. He's like, I'd rather take the $12 million and live out a family life with you guys, my brother, and we don't. I mean, that's a good ending. So that's why we don't really need another one. This is a fun little movie. Yeah. I do like the team up between these two. It would be cool to see them in something else. Fast and the Furious. I know Jason Momoa's already in it, but I don't think Dave has made an appearance in that one. But
Please don't.
yeah.
I'm not looking forward to it.
But so who was their father basically? He
Walter,
was
the PI.
Yeah, he was a private investigator.
private investigator, and he was on to this plot, and that's why they killed him.
Originally, he wasn't. He actually got hired accidentally.
wife.
So the wife of the billionaire hired him. He's like, "Hey, I need you to find dirt on my husband because I'm getting divorced and I need leverage. Otherwise, he may kill me." And he finds too big of dirt, and so it gets it wrapped up into something that's way bigger than just divorce proceedings.
The movie was longer than I thought.
It was longer than it needed to be too.
Yeah, it's a little too much, but I think because I was enjoying it so much, I didn't mind. The first big action scene, other than the realistic one in Jason Momoa's house, was when they get rammed by the Japanese Yakuza. And this is when I knew what we were in for, because the very first time the Japanese ram into them, a guy comes out with a goddamn Uzi. He's literally 3 feet from the car that he needs to shoot, and Jason and Dave are in the front seats, and he goes, da 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 da, and nothing is happening to the car. And by the way, they ram this car for a good 10, 15 minutes. And then they even spin, and they're doing circles while the car is spinning and doing circles with them. They're like connected together. And then it's all nonsensical because then Dave fires back at, like, he should be able to hit the guy, and then Jason fires, and he's firing at the tires instead of the open window where there's a guy with a machine
The
gun.
truck is completely bulletproof, Joe. But yes, one guy was
Except-
outside of it, yeah.
And here's where the body count starts raising, because then the Yakuza turn around, or Jason runs, and he's running
Through the crowd.
through the crowd, and so the Yakuza's just like,
Yeah, he pulls out an MP5 and he starts shooting all these people in the street, but no one is getting hit. because-
everybody is getting hit. Everybody's getting hit except for Jason.
I think they want you to believe that no one dies.
No,
Oh, the guy's
they
l-
clearly show.
He's taking cover. The guy's lying motionless.
They
He's
clearly
dead.
show.
Why is he doing this?
He's pretending, Joe.
He's
It was
dead.
hilarious, and then that's when the guy yells at him. What's the character's name from The Office? I forget his name, but yeah, he starts yelling at him.
Oh, Office Space? Milton?
Yeah, Milton.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's the cop here. And this cop is nonsensical because he's like, you guys get out of here. You're a cop on the reservation, and you're not a cop.
Carl.
You're just a Navy SEAL. Get the fuck out of here. Stop ruining my city. And then later on in the next scene, he's like, here's what I know about everything. You're not cops. Get out of here. It's like, what? Why do you keep helping them and telling them everything?
Yeah.
But it's so that the plot can move forward.
Yeah, so originally what happened is that scene didn't exist, and then they're like, wait a minute, how are they going to know any of this stuff? And they're like, oh, yeah, we have to film it. It's like, but that won't make any sense. It's like, shut up.
And then they do motorcycles. They both like motorcycles. And this is just Jason training for his Lobo role. Jason loves motorcycles, so he's gonna make sure to write in the script, I get to ride a motorcycle,
And I get to keep the motorcycle.
and I get to keep him at the end. And then we are introduced at some point to Spider-Man character Pika. Forget this guy's name here, but he's kind of
He's
our
funny.
comedic relief.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of a scrappy dude who did jobs for their father in the past.
He's a hacker.
And he gets them to go to the party. So you have a fucking high fluting, tooting party where everybody's dressed nice and makes a lot of money. And then you have these two big guys waltz in there like they're part of the staff.
He tells them, you look like The Rock fucked himself and had twins.
They do plenty of wrestling jokes. They
Yeah.
do The Rock. They do Fat John Cena, and various stuff like that. But they understand who the big bad guy is. You got this wife character who's planning to divorce him, and she thinks I need leverage or protection. And then eventually, as they're bumbling their way through the party, Dave's character runs into the crazy Japanese Yakuza leader, and he's doing coke and stuff, and there's tension there. And at one point, he kind of makes reference that your dad died in the street, and you could see Dave like gonna do something, but he's
Yeah, he's like,
to
we killed
steal
him.
himself. And then we get one of those tension-filled, it's not tension-filled scenes, but the dick measuring scene between the boss, who's like, bring them down here and we're going to talk. And then they sit down and they have the talking scene. And it's fun, there's good banter here. I'd say the writing's not bad. It's good for these characters.
The only scene that I know that every trope from the 90s that we miss is I needed a scene of the big bad billionaire
Yeah.
fighting like 10 dudes in a gi, because at the very end of the movie,
Very
all of a
end.
sudden, like Jason Momoa, and the billionaire guy is much smaller than Momoa because Momoa is a giant man, and he's like, "Oh, you got Momoa's no guns," and this small
guns?
and this small guy was like, should say
Yeah.
no guns and then kill him
Kill him.
because like he's a giant man who just
Pick up the
murdered
gun.
100 people, but. It turns out this guy's a kickboxing expert, and like that's a
Van
trope
Damme.
of the 90s
is.
where it's like that you have
The
to show,
French guy is the Van Damme, yeah.
you have to show him how badass he is.
He ends up kicking Jason Momoa's
He wins.
ass. and he wins. But Jason, previously when they were mocking each other in the scene that I was at, he was playing around with a French grenade. Well, it turns out the way he gets out of the final battle is while he was getting his ass kicked, he was setting up grenades, I guess. There's a few grenades on the fucking yacht that the guy was going to escape
On
on.
the desk.
Because all of the barrels have the
Oh,
high explosive
Yeah, so
flammable
he
bug
probably
gas.
took it from the
He
desk,
took one
and then just blew
But
it
then
up.
And he blows
But
up the
it
bad
blows
guy.
up right in front of him.
but he's wearing a bulletproof
And
vest.
nothing happens to him,
He
right?
Not
gets
even-
shot. He gets shot twice in the chest.
But not even
They
like
never
more
show the bullet holes or
Just a
anything.
Because
couple
you
of
said he was wearing
scratches.
bulletproof
He
vest.
gets
Yeah.
a couple scratches on his face.
They
after the
constantly get
explosion.
scratches.
It's like, no, your face should be destroyed right now.
Yeah. And so you have that. By the way, the billionaire dude kills his wife, and that kind of sets Jason off to go over and try to kick ass at his place. So he
You
beats
gotta
up
have
all
the
of his
low.
guards.
This is like where our characters are at the lowest.
Yeah,
That's
we've
the low.
established
He
his
goes
trauma.
to jail,
Yeah.
and then when his brother picks him up from jail, we get a badass fight. I like this scene where the brothers, there's been this tension between them. It's like, fuck you, you've not been in my life forever, and our father was shitty to us, and your life's out of control. It turns out that Jason is fucking mad at Dave because he kind of abandoned him when he was young. Shit was getting hard, and Dave just said, I don't want your life to fuck with my life.
Yeah, he said he sent them away, saying that the syndicate were going to kill you, and you were set to go to prison. So it's like, I have a
That's
hard
the
time.
best place for you.
I have
whatever.
a hard time believing that that wasn't the best thing for him.
So they fight. They fight it out in the street in front of the police station. It's raining, so I guess nobody else wanted to go outside and be like, hey, y'all cut it out.
They broke the windows of a
bunch
cop
of
car
cop
and like
cars.
dented shit, and
Yeah.
then Batista beats the shit out of him.
Yeah, and it's a fun fight scene, and they fight it out, and then they kind of, while they're making up, and the girls basically help them hash it out. His wife and
Val. 'Cause
Val.
He's like, hey, you just got a package from Walter. He's like, I need you to bring it.
Yep. And then that comes full circle, and then he
Yep.
calls the girlfriend, and she comes and she joins the plot, and yeah. So I think that's fucking it.
Yeah.
It is hilarious. It is over the top. I think the chemistry of these two hold up the film, and the ridiculousness and the numerous action scenes and the ridiculousness of the action scenes are good. I still can't get over how the big bad guy at the end is like, go kill him, and then the Yakuza, do your thing. But instead of staying with his most valuable asset, which is the killer's family, not the killers, but the good guy's family, they just ignore him. They don't kill him. They just walk out of the room.
Yeah.
And the Japanese leader disappears. And then when they release the girls, because they're unprotected in the basement, and they release them, then the Japanese guy randomly shows
He
up.
was hiding in
Yeah.
the corner. He's like, I can't take them all. I got to wait till one.
Yeah.
They gotta
Only
wait for more
one.
people to be freed.
It's a classic trope, but the trope is usually set up by like an explosion or a fire or something that separates these things, that like leads for these things to happen. And I think it just
Yeah.
forgot to do that thing to make
And-
it make
and-
sense.
So while Jason is actually getting his ass kicked by the Van Damme guy, Dave is just murdering this small Japanese man. And it's funny because they keep giving the Japanese dude like advantages. They're like, hey, okay, you run out of bullets. Actually, the Yakuza runs out of the bullets first. Dave could keep fighting with his guns, but he decides not to because the Yakuza picks up some swords and they're fighting, so he goes to hand-to-hand combat. So again, Yakuza should have the upper hand, but he doesn't because he's just getting thrown around by a much bigger man.
He's a Navy SEAL, Joe.
And eventually he takes the sword that the Japanese guy's been using and stabs him through the chest, which is actually looks pretty good, and it's a badass shot. He goes, but then he does something completely ridiculous. I'm like, yeah, you got him. He's dead. But then Dave takes the blade with his hand and then lifts up the dude and slams him into the fucking table.
Because it's cool.
And then the sword snaps in half?
No, it just
he's
it just
pushed
slides
it
it through him.
further.
So he stabs
Okay,
him
it
blade
slides through.
Yeah, he stabs him blade side up, and then he throws him on the table, and then uses the back of the blade and slams it and slices through his sternum into
But
his
I
nose.
thought maybe that would cut Dave, but no, it's the opposite
Yeah.
direction.
Yeah.
But bro, if you're picking, Anyways, that's the kind of stuff you're in store
Yeah.
for. It's like, whoa.
So I love that.
Having beers with dudes.
That is so much more fun to me than a CG helicopter. Like
Yeah.
that. Like
Yeah,
that's like
yeah,
I'm in
yeah.
for like
Yeah.
all of
Yeah.
the dumb hand-to-hand stuff, and it was just like, wait, why is this crashing helicopter following you for like a mile?
And bouncing into things, but bouncing
Forward,
forward
and
instead
it's
of
like,
down or back.
the
Yeah,
fuck
because
is
instead
happening?
she could have just hit the brakes and let the helicopter pass.
You
Right.
can't because they need to go get fast food, Joe.
know.
And then they got and then they used the minivan as a joke to go fast food. I don't know if this is a real place or a fake place in Hawaii, Hawaiian thing. It's Zippy's. I don't know if that's a thing. Y'all let us know if Zippy's paid for marketing. I think it's a made up chain probably. I don't know. But anyways, overall satisfying. They leave it potentially open if he wanted to go after his mother's killer, but this could definitely be a one-off and it would still be fine. Yep.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful Hawaii location, so I'm sure they had a nice vacation, a nice time filming the movie. So, all right, guys, that's going to be it. Thank you so much. What was your most hilarious moment? And leave it in the comments below, and we'll see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.